Good to see you. Where have you been? It doesn't matter right now. Welcome to England. I'm so glad you're here because this place is spooky as hell. Come on in. Spooky is this house. I'm absolutely in love with it. All right, today's episode we're talking about 3 things that practitioners do that you probably don't and really should be doing. Let's get into these tips. Professional practitioners will make sure that they've warmed up the body properly before they start their deep tissue techniques. Now I call it romancing your partner's body because, you know, it's a couple-y thing and I want you to be able to just wine and dine your partner with these long flowing relaxation strokes to warm up the muscles. See, our objective is to peel away that top layer of tension and just wait for our partner to drop their shoulders. That is when we know that it's time to go in deep. That initial layer of tension, if we can just scrape that away, what happens is that exposes the true deep tissue tension areas, areas of areas. It exposes the deep tissue knots, and this is what we want. We want to get to those bits because that's where the magic is. That's where it feels totally amazing. So if you're thinking you've got this, you've warmed up your partner's body enough, I want you to just continue a little bit further, another minute and a half, and just focus on making it a dance, flowing with your partner, and really getting them to the point where they just drop their shoulders and completely trust your hands. That works really well. They'll get their oil consistency right every single time. Oil consistency, it's a big deal. Get to play with it. It's pretty easy to do, and once you kind of like get it and you're in the flow of it, you'll nail it every single time. Professional practitioners have got their oil consistency down to a fine art, and it really is a fine art. You see, if you put too much oil on your partner's body, it's going to be wet, it's going to be cold and gross. There's going to be no connection between you and your partner, and this is where it's all at. The beginning of your massage is super important. Like, if you can win your partner over in the beginning, the rest of the massage is going to be a piece of cake. Now, this is what the professionals do. They start off with a base of oil and then work their way up until they get the right consistency. It's a lot harder to subtract oil. If it's too wet, it's such a tedious process to pull that back. There are ways to fix it, which I teach in the masterclass, but it's just easier to get it right the first time. So build your oil base up, which means that you probably will be going back to the bottle maybe 8, 9 times when you first begin, but that's fine, as long as you get the right consistency. Now, when you get that consistency, oh my God, it's amazing. You get this amazing oil drag. You can actually feel the oil doing its work. That, combined with deep tissue and your long flowing strokes, is what creates a super awesome massage and distinguishes the difference between an amateur and a pro. In the beginning, your partner's skin is dry, so it's going to absorb a lot of that oil, which means you will be going back to the bottle. And during your massage as well, some of that friction is going to take away your oil base, but it doesn't take a lot to get that consistency back up. Maybe just one time back to the oil bottle, just a small little piece this big in your palm, rub it through, and it'll just balance everything out perfectly. The professionals know how to use both relaxation and deep tissue techniques in the same massage routine. Oh, it's super important. It's a really big topic, and I've talked about it before. I've actually talked about the 80-20 principle, where it's like spend 80% of your time working on relaxation strokes and 20% working on deep tissue. Now, obviously, there are some massages that are different to others, like in sports massage, you wouldn't be following that principle, but for most couples, that principle works really well. And the reason why I put that out is because in the beginning, most couples only have two modes. Either they're just a skin polish for 100% of the time, or they're a hammer and they go in deep and hard 100% of the time. And this is not what professional practitioners do. Like, they will combine the two together and go through ebbs and flows to make that massage a journey. Like, they'll spend time on a specific area on a knot, and then they'll wash that pain out and use relaxation strokes to just extend that flow. It works really well. Now, don't get caught up thinking, hey, I suck at this. There's no point in massaging at all. No, us professionals, we started off same as you, with no knowledge base, and we learned. Like, we studied where the muscles are, where knots build up. We've figured out how to find areas of tension and inconsistencies in muscle tissue. And I cover all this in the masterclass. So if you're serious about massaging your partner, you really should get that masterclass, because we go from the basics of relaxation strokes all the way through to finding knots and areas of tension, and then knowing what to do with them as well. I also package up 3 routines that take you through that ebbs and flow, so you get to learn where to go in deep and when to use relaxation strokes, and you work on that 80-20 principle. If you don't follow that 80-20 principle, especially for couples, your thumbs are gonna just jump off and run away. Like, as soon as your hands hurt, it's game over, you're out of there. Before Melt, I ran Melbourne's largest hotel massage company, and we pumped out a lot of massages, looked after a whole bunch of hotels, actually one in the snowfields in a place called Mount Buller, and that place, during ski season, pumped. We would literally do 9-hour days, 7 days a week. If you don't know what you're doing, you're not following, say, the 80-20 principle, you'd really hurt yourself. And my staff and I, we'd get together on a weekly basis, sometimes as a group, sometimes one-on-one, and constantly be working through new techniques, new ways to position ourselves. I was really big on positioning, making sure that power came from the hips, and a structural power, like getting your posture completely right to really get in deep with minimal effort, rather than using muscles like using your biceps and your pecs to drive in, because that's the stuff that makes you super tired. You know, for me, my company, it was my name on the company, I wanted to make sure that the massage that was given in the 9th hour was just as good as the massage given in the 1st hour. And so longevity was a big deal, and this 80-20 principle worked super well to give you a chance to go, I'm going to use relaxation strokes to chill out, and I'll use deep tissue strokes on specific areas, namely knots, to get the biggest punch, rather than going deep 100% of the time, because that's where you wear yourself out. There you go, guys. 3 things that professional massage practitioners do that you probably don't. Pretty easy to do, so you might as well do them. There are lots more that professionals do that couples don't. We'll cover those in another series, but for now, guys, get your hands on each other, yeah? It's good for you. See you in the next episode.